Dear viewers, gather around the flickering screen. It's 2025, but let's rewind the clock to 2009, a time when smartphones were just getting smart and Robert Downey Jr. was reinventing himself as the ultimate quirky genius. Today we're diving into a nostalgic revisit of Sherlock Holmes, directed by the madcap maestro Guy Ritchie. This isn't your grandfather's pipe-smoking detective. It's a high-octane, fog-shrouded romp through Victorian London, packed with bare-knuckle brawls, razor-sharp wit, and enough twists to tie your cravat in knots. Starring RDJ as the eccentric Holmes and Jude Law as the ever-reliable Dr. Watson, this film grossed over $524 million worldwide and kicked off a franchise that's still begging for a third installment. If you haven't rewatched it lately, grab your deerstalker. We're about to relive the magic. Set in 1891, the story kicks off with Holmes and Watson thwarting the occult rituals of the sinister Lord Blackwood, played by Mark Strong, a cult leader who's executed but seemingly rises from the grave. Enter Irene Adler, played by Rachel McAdams, Holmes' cunning love interest, and a web of conspiracies involving Parliament, poison, and a dash of the supernatural. It's all smoke and mirrors, literally, as Holmes unravels a plot that's equal parts science and sleight of hand. But enough spoilers for now. Let's jump into what made this film unforgettable. Oh, where to start? Guy Ritchie's signature style, those slow-mo breakdowns, gritty fights, and snappy banter, turns every scene into a spectacle. Remember the boxing match? Holmes steps into a bare-knuckle ring, dissecting his hulking opponent like a frog in biology class. He narrates his plan in voiceover, a jab to the ribs, a hook to the jaw, ending with a spectacular knockout. It's pure RDJ charisma, blending brains with brawn. Cut to the explosion at the slaughterhouse. Holmes and Watson barely escape a massive blast that sends debris flying in glorious slow motion. The shockwave ripples through the air, and Holmes quips amid the chaos. It's visceral, edge-of-your-seat action that redefined Holmes as an action hero. Then there's the shipyard chase, where Watson saves Holmes from a swinging chain just in time. Amid flying sparks and clanging metal, their bromance shines. Watson's loyalty pulling Holmes from the brink. Pure, awesome. And who could forget the master of disguise moment? Holmes pops up in ridiculous get-ups, fooling everyone but Watson. Or the meat or potatoes? Interrogation, where Holmes toys with a suspect over dinner, his deductions slicing sharper than any knife. The opening chase through London's underbelly sets the tone perfectly. Holmes and Watson bantering mid-pursuit, proving their partnership is the film's beating heart. These scenes aren't just fun, they're timeless, blending humor, intellect, and adrenaline. Ah, the plot, a labyrinth of deception. The big one, Lord Blackwood's resurrection. Hanged and declared dead by Watson himself, he claws out of his grave, sparking supernatural panic. But Holmes uncovers it's all a ruse. A ruptured hookah pipe simulating a broken neck. Poison mimicking death. How does a doctor like Watson miss it? Clever chemistry and misdirection. That's how. The film twists like a pretzel. Blackwood's rituals are cover for a parliamentary coup using cyanide gas. Irene's betrayal? She's working for a shadowy figure. And the grand finale on the unfinished Tower Bridge. Holmes dangling precariously as truths unravel. The ultimate kicker? The post-credits tease of Professor Moriarty, Holmes's arch-nemesis, lurking in the shadows. It left us hungry for more, setting up the sequel's chess game of wits. These turns aren't cheap. They're layered, rewarding rewatches with aha moments.
Was it a small caliber bullet?
Yes.
The powder burns on his eyebrows.
Indeed, sir. Point blank range.
Moriarty.
Digging deeper, here's some trivia that'll make your next viewing pop. Did you know Holmes's bulldog is named Gladstone, after the British Prime Minister? A nod to Victorian history amid the chaos. RDJ trained in Wing Chun for the fights, spot the dummy in his room, and watch him apply those techniques in brawls. Rachel McAdams was deemed too young for Irene Adler at first, but her chemistry with RDJ won out. The original screenplay was blacklisted, too unconventional, before Ritchie revamped it. Fun fact, the film opened with a bang, raking in $62.4 million in its first weekend alone. Peeking behind the curtain, Guy Ritchie transformed London into a gritty Victorian playground. Filming involved massive sets recreating the era's tech boom. Think gas lamps, early machinery, and that iconic Tower Bridge under construction. RDJ learned violin for authenticity, scraping away for hours to nail Holmes' eccentric fiddling. Stunts were no joke. The explosion scenes used practical effects for that raw feel, and Jude Law nearly got clipped by props in rehearsals, echoing the film's danger. Fun Easter egg. The costume designer gets a solo credit in the scene where Holmes is buck naked. Talk about attention to detail, or lack thereof. Behind-the-scenes footage shows RDJ and Law improvising banter, turning scripted lines into gold. Ritchie drew from comic books for the visual style, blending lock, stock flair with Doyle's lore. There you have it. Sherlock Holmes, 2009, remains a gem, blending nostalgia with non-stop thrills. It's not just a movie, it's a reminder of cinema's power to reimagine classics. If this sparked your inner detective, dust off the DVD or stream it tonight. Elementary, my dear viewers. Until next time.